Hey everyone, welcome back to the Explainer. Today we're unpacking a truly life-saving piece of tech that is absolutely crucial for mastering your O-level biology exams. We're going to be looking at homeostasis, the kidneys, and the absolute mechanical marvel that is dialysis. So whether you're prepping for a massive test or you're just curious about the hidden mechanisms keeping you alive every single day, well, you're in the right place. We're going to map it all out visually for you. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive right in. I want you to picture your body as this massive, bustling, sprawling city. Every single cell is like a tiny little factory, right? They're constantly working, producing energy, and inevitably producing waste. Now, for any city to actually thrive, that waste has to be efficiently removed. Your kidneys are essentially the ultimate, highly regulated waste management system of this cellular metropolis. Basically, they keep the streets clean. But what exactly are they doing down there? And more importantly, how on earth do we replicate that when the city's natural infrastructure breaks down? So here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the body's waste management, move into the anatomy of the kidney, check out the nephron in action, see exactly how dialysis works, and then finish up with some really common exam misconceptions. All right, section 1, the body's waste management. So let's meet the star players of our urinary system. We've got the kidneys, the ureters, the bladder, and the urethra, all working together in this incredibly seamless pipeline to filter your blood and produce urine. If you follow the downward arrows we've got mapped out here, you can track the exact flow from the kidneys straight down to the bladder. But take a look specifically at that core function. It's actually not just about removing waste. It's heavily about maintaining your water and electrolyte balance. This dynamic equilibrium, that's the literal definition of homeostasis. Moving right along to section 2, anatomy of the kidney. Now, if we zoom in, we've mapped out the physical geography of the kidney right here. Notice those clear boundary lines cutting the longitudinal section into 3 very distinct zones. Region A, that outermost layer, is clearly labeled as the renal cortex. As we move inward, region B is the medulla. And right at the core, region C is the pelvis, which is where the urine collects before exiting. You'll definitely want to memorize these specific callouts. Understanding this exact anatomical breakdown and where the filtration physically crosses these boundaries is absolutely vital for grasping what a mechanical dialysis machine will eventually have to compensate for. Which brings us to section 3, the nephron in action. Okay, behold the nephron. Looking at this magnified split-screen view, you can see this is the true functional unit of the kidney, and you literally have millions of these tiny structures. I really want you to pay close attention to the directional arrows we're showing here. On one side, check out the green arrows. That represents the reabsorption of essential nutrients back into the bloodstream. These are things your body desperately wants to keep, like glucose and useful ions. But then, on the other side, the red arrows show the excretion of metabolic waste being pushed out to form urine. It's basically a highly selective, microscopic sorting facility happening inside you in real time. Let's move on to section 4, how dialysis works. Now, I want to pose a pretty serious question directly to you. What happens when this incredible biological waste management system just fails? When disease or injury compromises those millions of nephrons we just looked at, the toxic waste in that bustling cellular city starts piling up really fast. And this is exactly where we have to pivot from natural biology to a mechanical, completely life-saving solution. Let's walk through this step-by-step flowchart. In step 1, check out those red arrows showing unfiltered blood flowing from the patient's body directly into the machine. Now, step 2 is really where the magic happens. Notice this semi-permeable membrane right there in the middle? The deeper color intensity you're seeing indicates specific fluid concentrations. The machine uses this incredibly precisely calibrated dialysis fluid. And because of the concentration gradient, toxic waste is literally forced to diffuse out of the blood, straight across that membrane, and into the fluid. Finally, step 3. The now clean blood, which you can see indicated by the brightened red vector arrows, safely returns to the body. It's wild, right? It flawlessly mimics the natural sorting mechanism of the nephron. And finally, section 5, common exam misconceptions. This comparison right here brilliantly highlights where medical technology draws the line. Over on the left, we have what dialysis actually does. It filters metabolic waste, like urea. Pretty straightforward. But on the right under what it doesn't do, we have 2 massive exam traps that catch students all the time. First off, it absolutely does not regulate hormones or blood pressure like a natural, healthy kidney does. Remember, it's just a filter. Second, and this is a big one, do not confuse excretion with adgestion. Dialysis removes metabolic waste produced by cells. It has absolutely nothing to do with digestion, which is just the removal of undigested food from your digestive tract. So make sure you keep those two concepts strictly separated in your mind. So, to recap the whole shebang, dialysis acts as an artificial kidney, and it fundamentally relies on that semi-permeable membrane and those concentration gradients to filter the blood. Now, my ultimate exam tip for you, and seriously, you should do this, is to physically practice sketching these flowcharts out. Draw the dimension lines, draw out the semi-permeable membrane, and write down the step-by-step diffusion process. Building that visual to motor connection is exactly how you're going to lock this into your long-term memory for test day. You've got this.
And that leaves us with a pretty mind-blowing thought to end on, doesn't it? If human engineering can build a machine that flawlessly mimics the microscopic magic of our kidneys' nephrons, literally saving millions of lives in the process, what other insanely complex biological systems in the human body could we synthetically rebuild next? The intersection between human biology and medical technology is expanding every single day. Keep that curiosity alive, keep sketching out those diagrams, and I will see you in the next Explainer.